Hey guys, welcome back to another video. First of all, an announcement for you. Starting today, we are opening up our Twitter channel. We were thinking about opening a Twitter channel now since some time, and we are really looking forward to interact with you there. We'll be sharing more ideas, more tips. Of course, we will tweet also about the videos that we will produce on the channel here, and also, of course, to your questions. So I invite you to join us on Twitter. You will find the link in the video description below. And as for this video today, we want to actually have a look at the Arch ISO for August 2020. There is something new in this ISO, and that is the inclusion of the Arch Linux Wiki website for the installation itself. There is a browser called Links that you can access during the installation, and it's going to help you out with the Arch Linux installation if you don't remember some information or you forgot about it and you don't have any other internet connection. So let's see how it works and jump into the video straight away. So let's have a look at the Arch ISO for August 2020. I prepared here a virtual machine, and if you're trying this on KVM, you can of course follow along. But if you're installing on a PC or on VirtualBox, the content I'm going to show you in the ISO, it's going to be basically the same. Anyway, let me pull up here my virtual machine. And I'm going to show you also a tip here if you want to start this on your display with a full resolution. In my case, it's a 1080p display. So if you have a 1080p display, which is one of the most common resolutions, you can follow along if you're installing this on KVM. So this is on a UEFI system. And what you're going to do here when you start the machine, you're basically going to hit the escape key and you will go down to Device Manager and then OVMF Platform Configuration. And from here, you can choose the preferred resolution. Once you have done that, you hit F10 to save the settings and hit Y to confirm. And then hit Escape to exit this menu and Escape one more time to go back to the main menu. And then tap on Continue. Now, for the machine to take effect the first time, you would have to shut it down and then start it up again. But in my case, because it was already set, I can just hit Continue and it's going to boot up fine. So I'm just going to do that. And as soon as you see the Arch prompt here, you need to basically hit the E key on the keyboard to enter edit mode. And you'll go down at the end of this line and set the no mode set parameter for the video driver. In this case, it's going to pick up the resolution from the firmware, and you're going to be able to boot up the console in 1080p. So I'm going to type in here no mode set, and then I can just hit enter. Now the system is going to start up, and as you can see, it's starting up in 1080p, which is the resolution of my display. Now keep in mind, this is just useful to you if you want to use the full resolution of the display while you're installing Arch Linux, but if not, it doesn't actually matter, because when you install Arch Linux, you will have your graphic drivers, and when you put up the installed system, your drivers and the resolution will work fine anyway. Now, this is the login prompt for the August 2020 ISO for Arch Linux, and as you can see, we have some new things in here. So it says to install Arch Linux, follow the installation guide, which is the wiki that is on the Arch Linux website. And it gives you a tip here on how to authenticate to the wireless network using the IWCTL utility, which is the one introduced in the July ISO. And for that, I have already a video on the channel. Now, if you have a cable connected to your machine, of course, you don't have to worry about this because it's going to be configured automatically. And if you want to use Wi-Fi, as it says here, you can use the IWCTL utility to connect Wi-Fi as well. And you can start the process of installing Arch Linux. However, what is new here, it's actually the convenience to have a script, which basically will open up the Links browser, and it's going to navigate to the Arch Linux Wiki website, right to the installation guide. So this is very useful because sometimes if you don't remember a step during the installation, you can call up the script every time and go to navigate in there. So I want to show you actually this installation guide very quickly. But the first thing I need to do is to change my keyboard layout. So let me type in here load keys and then my string, which is de_ch-latin1. There you go. And let's try to launch the script. So let's type in installation_guide and hit enter. Now, because I have an IP already, it connects to the internet and it basically pulls down the Arch Wiki installation website. And as you can see on the top left, we have the menu, which are the menus of the Arch Linux website, and right down the installation guide with its own menus. So what you can basically do here, you can basically scroll through the installation guide if you don't remember one of the steps or if you want to have more info about it. So everything in green here is a link. So if you select it, you can click on it and you will be opening that link. And so, for example, let's go down here. You can move up and down with the arrow keys. And I'll go down here to the installation guide. And let's say, for example, we want to have a look at the FS tab. So we just go to FS tab here and hit enter. And this is a section of the wiki explaining you the FS tab and how you can configure it. Now, again, you can scroll through here with the arrows if you want to do that. So you can scroll through the pages here, as you can see on the blue bar, by pressing the space bar here. So I'm just scrolling through here page by page into the wiki. Now, if we scroll down a couple of more pages and let's say we want to look for something, let's hit the / key and enter the query we are looking for. So I'm going to type in here chroot and hit enter. And you can see here on the top of the screen, we are brought to the chroot section of the wiki. Then I can hit enter here, and I'm brought to the section where it explains me about chrooting into the installation. So you get the idea of how this can be handy when you're installing Arch Linux. Now the question is, of course, it's a little bit daunting to move back and forward between the wiki and the login prompt to install Arch Linux. So in this case, what you can do, if you are on a computer and you're installing this, you can hit Ctrl Alt and F2 to open up a new terminal. And you can go back to the wiki here by hitting Ctrl Alt F1. And we can do the same here in KVM by basically calling up here the shortcuts with this key combination. And let's say we go to the second terminal. So let's hit Ctrl Alt F2 and log in as root. And here, for example, I could perform my installation. And if I want to go back to the wiki, I can go back to Ctrl Alt F1. And here I have my wiki again. And I can scroll through and find out the information I want. And once I've done that, I can go back with Ctrl Alt F2 to the other terminal and continue my installation. So this is a very practical thing. I'm really happy that they put this in the ISO. I think it's very handy to have the guide directly here into the terminal, especially if you're installing this on a machine and you have nowhere else internet connection. It's nice to have the installation guide at your fingertips to find out information that you might not know or that you might have forgotten about. There you go, guys. This is how you can use the installation guide of the Arch Linux wiki in the ISO for August 2020. It's a very handy feature, and the possibility to switch between terminals if you want to install it and consult the wiki at the same time, it's a very, very handy feature, especially if you don't have any other computer or smartphone or any other possibility to have an internet connection. As I said at the beginning of the intro, we are really looking forward to see you on Twitter. You will find the link to Twitter in the video description below. Looking forward to see you there to discuss with you. We'll be sharing with you more tips and more ideas, and of course also about the videos coming up to the channel. I hope you liked this video, guys. If you did, please hit the like button below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Subs always helps us out. And if you want to support the channel, you can do so by visiting our Patreon website, or you can donate via PayPal to our website as well. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and I'll see you very soon in the next one.